Welcome to Night Rips. And time once again for our little experiment, little scientific investigation on how do we unbrick old baseball cards. And we're going to do that with another rip of 1994 Flair Ultra. This will be Series 1. And the reason I say how are we going to unbrick these as I pull 6 packs out is so this scientific experiment that we've been doing, we have tried one technique already. I mean, obviously the first technique, and it's one that I actually do most often, is just to bend the cards just slightly to get them to kind of release from the card next to them. And while it does work, I've very rarely had cards that was so damaged that really I'd have to throw them away. I've had a few, but most of the time it's been pretty decent to go that. You'll still see a little bit of card on the front and back, but oh well. Fortunately, these are relatively cheap rips. I mean, 94 Flair was one of the junk wax, and any of the Flair Ultra can have this problem. I have also tried the second technique of putting them in the freezer for a couple days, bringing them out, letting them defrost, and then trying to come apart. Were they a little bit better? It's hard to say, because these are actually a little bit deeper in the box than the first rip. So we're going to try something a little bit different today. And that's why you're going to see a whole lot of cuts in this one, because this is going to be a long rip for me, but I'm going to cut out a bunch of the long stuff for you because I'm going to utilize what's known as the hairdryer trick, where I'll open each pack and then I'll go in the other room, I'll hair dry them for about 15 minutes, and then get them over here and see if they actually start opening a little bit better. If they do, I'll keep doing it. If they don't, I'll probably just break them apart because, 6 packs, 15 minutes each. This would be an hour and a half of just hair drying cards. So, I hope you enjoy this little experiment that we're trying to do, because honestly, I want to find out what's the best way to unbrick cards. So, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and first invite you to join the channel, hitting that subscribe button there below, and then hitting the notify bell. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and rip and hair dry the first pack. Alright, that was fun. So I did hair dry them for about 7 minutes because I'm curious how long it's going to take. And as you can tell, as I was pulling them apart a little bit just to see, and we did get a little bit of damage, a very little bit right there. And I will say these cards are extremely hot right now. But it looks like we still get some damage. There's Kenny Rogers. We still get a little bit of damage, but these are coming apart a bit better. Now, I don't know if they'll, I could probably said I did 7 minutes. It's possible I could have done longer, but let's try to. They are more pliable, but I don't know if it's going to make them unstick any better or not. Or will it make the damage worse? Because they are still sticking, and actually, if anything, it looked like they might be taking a little bit more off. I don't know. I mean, you're still going to hear the crunch, because as the cards cool down a little bit, but some of them, they are peeling apart a little bit better. Let's see how well this goes. Yeah, we got a little bit of damage there with Melito Perez, but actually it's not too terrible. Now again, maybe I need to go a little bit longer. Marquise Grissom. Again, I only did 7 minutes, and I'm doing the entire pack. And one of the things I could actually have done is start going and doing a lot on one side. Larry Lubers, doing one card and then peeling it off and then doing the next one, on and on and on. Kirk McCaskill, and a bad cut here. There is no gold. I was actually thinking this was another card. It's actually whatever the top card was. Total miscut there. Which is why it's not bothering me to actually sit there and experiment with these. Because you see, look how bad. And I'm just going to turn it on this back side. You can see how bad that cut was. And this was the rookie Jeffrey Hammond's. Has no of that gold line at the bottom or smolts. Wow, that's a terrible cut. And again, not only is it a bad cut, it's also not even. You know, it's thicker on this side than it is on this one. So these are pretty bad. So definitely a good pack. Wow, this one's gotten so bad that I think, well, no, I was thinking it's actually the card behind it. But, yeah, you don't see any for David Nielsen. You see none of that gold line at the bottom. And a whole lot of that previous card on the top. So it doesn't bother me to experiment with these. Again, I don't pay much for these boxes. I know, well, first off, it's Fleer. It's not really worth that much. It's also during the junk wax era. So it's a good card to experiment with. But what we are really trying to do is this, pulling those inserts. And of course, it did get a little bit of, I'm not going to call it damage, because this is actually card stuff from the previous card here, right from this edge. But we pulled another one of the gold gloves. Roberto Alomar. Again, for a second baseman, actually has more gold gloves than anyone else, even though they call them top gloves here in Fleer Ultra. So that's it for my first pack. Again, 7 minutes to go and hair dry these. I think I might take the next pack and go a little bit longer. Let's see. All right. Cut that out because that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, because it was stuck all the way around. That'd be Darren Kyle. Yeah, you can see it all the way around. This one was a real stuck card. All right, here's Bob Welch. He's definitely has himself some damage to him. And they're now starting to cool down, so now I'm actually starting to not only hold them, but actually starting to bend them a little bit. Ooh. I'm not happy about this. With very minimal edge damage, we got the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. Actually happy that one didn't get damaged. Like I said, there is a little bit, but not too terrible. There's Phil Leftwich, and Phil, he's got another card before we get to the award card, which is a different kind of award card this time. Todd Hundley, and we'll end it with another award winner. Now this award winner, it's before Mike Trout, before that fish, there was another fish with the Angels. That was Tim Salmon. Now this one is not a gold glove. This one, you know, you can't really, or can you tell the difference? Well, they look a little bit different because the gold glove, or the top glove, is them fielding. This is a case of somebody batting. This is actually Tim Salmon's Rookie of the Year card. He actually won the Rookie of the Year in 1993. So, still pretty cool. And obviously, when it comes to, there's only one gold glove per position. So, a total of 18 between American League and National League. There's 25 award winners. So, obviously, you can't, since you have 18 gold gloves and you have 25 awards, what are the awards? One of those being Rookies of the Year, both American League and National League. You're also going to get the Cy Young, and you're going to get the MVPs. So let's go ahead and heat up pack number 3. Well, I actually may have solved, well, looks like there's a little bit there, but I may have actually solved the sticky problem. I did take the time with the hairdryer, but I was actually going one card at a time, you know, and taking them apart. And actually, if you notice, these cards aren't stuck together at all, except that one's upside down. But let's go ahead and go through these now that we can actually pay attention to the cards, and I will see what kind of damage it was done. Which, to be honest, there's going to be damage every time. The fact that these have been stuck together, but you know, if we can use these techniques to actually break them apart with minimal wear, it's better than just trying to rip. So let's see what we got. You know, I obviously, like I said, you still will get little bits. You're not going to be perfect, but actually not too bad. So Omar Vizquel. See, I'm getting a little bit on the edge, maybe because I didn't heat it quite as well. There's Eduardo Perez. You know, the unfortunate thing is you're not going to get any surprise because I had to break them apart. There's Bo Bichette's father, Dante. Big time with the Colorado Rockies. So yeah, so I'm not going to, you're not going to see, if we pull anything crazy, unfortunately, I've probably already seen it. Like, I was excited when I saw this. Nice Barry Bonds card. There with the Giants at the time. Now, he was a 5-tool, but at this point, let's see, how many home runs did he hit? Well, he hit 46 in 1993. So it was really after the strike. Why he's called one of the boys of summer is Al Martin. Rookie Steve Carsey. Rookie Jerry Spradlin. Mike Lansing, of course, nice little cut off at the bottom. We don't see that. Actually, we didn't see much with Spradlin either. You can see basically the machine looks like it was starting to shift as it was going. But the cards are actually not that bad. And of course, we did pull another one of the Phillies cards. Making sure that was, yeah. No, that's Mike Lansing. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I was looking at the other card, reading, seeing this one. Mike Lansing, of course, cut off pretty bad. But we did get another one of those Phillies finest cards. This time, we didn't get Dalton. We got John Kruk. Big time slugger for Philly. And who was actually If you ever watch any of the Phillies broadcasts, and I get to watch quite a bit because I do have MLB TV, he is one of the announcers. And honestly, he's hilarious to listen to. So that's 3 packs. Now, let me put him up over here. Got 3 more packs to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and start hair drying again. Let's just make sure it wasn't a fluke. Because if it wasn't a fluke, we may actually have a technique that's going to do very little damage to the cards. So let's see. So we'll go ahead and open pack number 4. All right, so that took some work, but once again, it looks like we were relatively successful. There's Luis Aquino. JT Snow's definitely got a little bit of damage to him there. Probably could have gone a little bit longer with a hairdryer, but not too bad. That's the important thing to realize, is that when we do this kind of stuff, the chances of going completely perfect, yeah, I got some more pack there. Ooh, that was not a good one. But the chances of being totally perfect is pretty low. I mean, this is the price you pay, especially for these glossy products that's been sitting in packs for so long. Andy Ashby's kind of messed up there. Which is also why it's good to practice this on cheap stuff. You know, Fleer is definitely a good one, because pretty much all of Fleer will have this problem. Any of the Fleer Ultras, that is. There's Scott Erickson. Actually, he was not too bad. But what's that? Paul Wagner. Yeah, we got some here. Renee Rocha. Oh, here's Tom Hankey. Not too terrible. Just surface. I mean, would it grade high? Honestly, I wouldn't even send any of this into grade, because this is not really worth it's barely worth the paper it's printed on. John Dowdery. And then, oh, this is cool. But unfortunately, it had some stick to it. But it's a Randy Myers Ultra Fireman. And obviously, a fireman is a reliever. So that's pretty cool. There's 10 of these. And honestly, this is the first of the inserts that I've seen with any sort of damage to them. So it is unfortunate, but again, it's the price you pay when you open up old wax. All right, 2 packs to go, and y'all really do not realize how long it takes me to actually get them, at least even to this level. So let's go ahead and rip pack number 5. Man, you do not realize how much work it is. Whenever the stuff I'm cutting out, and I'll go over it at the end, but it is a ton of work to get these cards apart now. And of course, being at the bottom of the box doesn't help matters. But we've got a Chris Turner, Chris Haney. See, we got a little bit of stick there, and I, there's a lot of techniques that I'm using that I'll definitely share. Felix Jose, got a little bit more, and I'll tell you what I've done right and what I've done wrong, because obviously the whole point, I mean, we're always going to get a little bit of damage, maybe not as much as Hippolito here. We're always going to get some damage. Ooh, that's a lot. But, sometimes the damage that I'm doing is more my fault than the cards themselves. Because, I mean, look at this Brian Williams. And unfortunately, I will say I have looked at all these cards, because, I'm having to do these one at a time. But I'll let you know what I'm doing. There's Kurt Manwaring. Pity we kind of damaged him a bit. Fortunately, this is, again, all cheap junk wax stuff. Danny Missielli. And Fleer Fleer Ultra is one of the products that does stick. Here's Bobby Witt. Obviously, his son currently plays there for the Royals. John Roper. Definitely got a little bit more. Rondell White. Looks decent. I always feel, because it's right in the middle is where you'll find it. There's some here, but you can't really tell it. And then the last card, who do we get? It's another top glove, or a gold glove. Honestly, who is that? Oh, Robin Ventura. Very nice. All right. Well, one more pack to go. Try to see if there's any damage on him. It doesn't look like it. We got one more pack to go. So hopefully, this was at the very bottom of the box. Hopefully this one right here isn't gonna be super bad. But we don't know. So I will show you, because usually I cut out all these pack rips, but I'm going to show you what we're dealing with. Now we got another Rookie of the Year of Mike Piazza, which we'll look here in a second. But just to show you, this is what we're dealing with. These packs are completely bricked. I mean, there's 14 cards in here, and all 14. Of course, we got some bend in this one because the packs, it was at the bottom, but these are totally bricked. I'm having to work these one card at a time, and once I've go ahead and break these apart using my hairdryer and show you, I'm gonna actually show you the technique I do. So if anything, because this is a rip of a very old product that does have this happen a lot, if I can actually show you a technique that can help you break your cards, honestly, I'll call this one a success. So let me go ahead and get this brick apart, and then we will see what we got. And I know going into this, the bottom of the box was going to be the worst one for sticking, and I was 100% correct on that one. So but we did get them all apart. It did take some time. I'll go through them real quick. Willie Blair, and you will see there is varying levels of let me make sure, damage to these. There's Tommy Green. Actually, I'm going to turn them over because I want to demonstrate how you break them apart. Of course, we got Jeff Russell, Rod Corella. Of course, I rushed him, if you can't tell. Tim Bogar, Richard Batchelor, rookie. David Hulse, Willie Green, Paul O'Neill, which actually came out pretty good. Wayne Kirby came out really good, actually, except right there on the edge. We got the nice Mike Piazza. Got a little bit of damage there. Not too terrible. Bob Natal. And then we did get our last award winner. And we'd seen this, whenever I first opened the pack. Of course, it took damage, not from because they were stuck together, but just because it was at the bottom of the box. But this would be the Rookie of the Year for National League, Mike Piazza. Very young Mike Piazza. So, just put him over here to the side. Let's go do a quick recap, and then I'm going to talk about how I broke these cards up, because that's probably the most important thing that's happened with this rip. So we did get another one of those Phillies finest. This time we got John Kruk. Of course, there is 5 of the Darren Dalton and then 5 of the John Kruk cards, so definitely a cool one. So we've pulled 3 so far, and we should pull 6 per box, so we're right on target. We also pulled one of these Ultra Fireman. Now, he took some damage because of the stick, because I was still learning how to break them apart, but this would be Randy Myers. And of course, a Fireman award would be for the best reliever. And then one thing that we're supposed to get 12 of per box are these award winners. And we did pull quite a few of them. Some cool ones too. So we did pull, oh, wrong one. Can't remember which one. Here it is. We did pull both the American League and National League Rookie of the Year, Mike Piazza and Tim Salmon. Cool cards. And one thing about those, if you notice, that it's them actually hitting the ball in this little gold seal, which is different than the other cards that I will mention, which are the gold gloves, or as Fleer likes to call them, the top gloves. Of course, that would be Roberto Alomar at second and Robin Ventura. But again, all these back up. The one thing that I will mention, and probably the most important thing that's happened in this rip, is even though you still see these cards have some damage to them, you know, if I compare it, I had these handy. Actually, those look pretty good, but those are also at the top of the box. But one thing that you'll notice is as you go deeper into the box, the worse the cards start looking, because they will start sticking. Anything that's got this glossy print to it will have a problem with getting stuck. You'll see it in Stadium Club. You'll see it in every Flair Ultra. You'll see basically anything that's got this real tacky, glossy finish has a potential of getting bricked. Now, I'm going to definitely be doing this more often. And one of the reasons why this one's cut up as much is because I'm trying to use a technique. We tried freezing. Freezing didn't work that well. So what I ended up doing, and remember when at the beginning of this last pack, these cards were stuck solid. What I'm starting to do, what I'll end up cutting out, is that I will actually take these cards and I'll run a hairdryer pretty close over it, almost to the point where these cards will start feeling more like putty. And then I will slowly start working the edges, and I'll see if they'll actually pull apart. And some of them, like this one actually pulled apart really easy. It almost came apart in my hands. And then I just set it to the side. And then I'll start working with these smaller sets. And we'll just start going on the edges, not pulling too hard, but working each card. And then I'll go and put the hairdryer on it again and again, front and back. Of course, keeping these cards as hot as I possibly can. It's not doing damage to the cards, because you have to look at what is bricking. Basically the glossy finish. It's where the glossy finish will actually stick to each other more than sticking to the card itself. So whenever you pull them apart, it will actually rip the card. So that's what we're trying to do. We're basically trying to heat it up where the adhesion to the card is actually stronger than the adhesion to each other. A lot of times it does it. You will still get a little damage on some of these, but you know, better just a little damage than total ruining of the card. So, hope you liked it. Again, we're going to try this some more. I don't know when the next time I'm going to open up any of this Flair, because to be honest, this took a long time. And even what I was doing was trying to rush it. And by rushing it is why you still see as much damage as you do on the cards. The longer you take to do it, you know, the slower the process, the less chance of, or at least the less damage you'll do. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed at least learning how to, maybe if you run into, you know, some cards that are bricked, potentially a way to actually work on getting them apart without doing that much damage, because you can find some great cards that some people would honestly just throw away. We'll be doing this more, and we'll, you know, learn together. You know, try to see how often we can protect the cards as much as possible, because unfortunately I have damaged cards that I wished I hadn't. Yeah, I've damaged rookie Jeters, I've damaged rookie Mariano Rivera's, I've damaged other inserts, award winners, just because, again, cards that stay in packs for too long, they can brick, especially the glossy stuff. So we can continue this experiment together, seeing what we can find and how can we help each other to protect these cards as much as we possibly can. Once again, I invite you to join the channel, hitting that subscribe button below and hitting the notify bell. Also, if you like the fact that, you know, I'm using some of these old, really not worth much to conduct these experiments to try to help everybody, give a thumbs up to the video. And if you've done this yourself or you got any suggestions to make this better, drop it in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed my little science experiment. Again, still learning on how to do this with preserving these cards as much as possible. And of course, we're going to do it on the cheap stuff before we ever have to do it on the expensive stuff. So I appreciate, you know, taking the time watching it. And I look forward to, don't look forward to actually trying to unbrick a bunch of cards, but I look forward to seeing you again here real soon. So until next time, bye now.